Morning everyone, today we're going to look at the sacrament of Holy Matrimony, which we would normally call marriage. Just be aware that the information here you can use in the Christianity unit of paper 2, but you can also use it in the relationships unit of paper 2. So marriage is a legal joining of two people. Traditionally that's been between a man and a woman, however marriage is now open to same-sex couples. A couple may decide to have a religious ceremony to mark their marriage, and that's often referred to as Holy Matrimony. In some denominations such as the Catholic Church, this is one of the 7 sacraments. Because marriage is seen as a sacrament that can't be broken, divorce is not allowed or recognised in the Catholic or Orthodox churches, even if the couple have legally ended their marriage. Whilst Protestants don't regard marriage as an official sacrament, they still see it as a sacred bond given uniquely to human beings as a gift from God. The sacred nature of holy matrimony is often linked to religious teachings. For example, in Mark 10 it says, "For this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be joined with his wife, and the two will become one flesh. Therefore what God has joined together, let no one separate." One of the key terms you could get in this unit is marriage symbols. Now, marriage symbols are the features or items used within a marriage ceremony that reflect the important beliefs about marriage. One of the most common features of a marriage ceremony are the rings. Couples exchange rings as a sign of their devotion. The round shape is a reminder of eternal love, and the smooth band symbolises the hope of a smooth marriage. This idea is also reflected in the vows that the couple make. Traditionally, the couple make vows that represent the deep eternal commitment made between the two people and God. Vows include for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. Traditionally, the bride also wears a veil, which is a symbolic reminder of her purity and modesty. Traditionally, Christians practice chastity, not having sex before marriage. As such, when the veil is lifted, it symbolises the fact that through marriage, the two people will become fully united and become one flesh. It also remembers the temple veil, which was torn in two when Christ died on the cross. The removing of the veil took away the separation between God and mankind, giving believers access to the presence of God. The white dress worn by the bride is also another sign of purity and chastity. However, it also remembers the righteousness of Christ and the church in Revelations. In Revelations 19 it says, "Christ clothes his bride the church in his own righteousness as a garment of fine linen bright and clean." And therefore the white dress is not only a sign of purity but also a reminder of the relationship between Christ and the church. Flowers are often used in a Christian marriage ceremony as a reminder of fertility. The priest will often remind the couple and the congregation of the hope that within the marriage the couple will reproduce. This reminds them of teachings such as those from Genesis that suggest that we should have children. For example, in Genesis, God told Adam and Eve, "Be fruitful and multiply." In the Orthodox Church, couples don't make vows as they believe these commitments have already been made. Instead, they wear a crown as an outward sign of the sacrament, and the priest places it on their head, saying, "O Lord, crown them with glory and honour." The crowns therefore symbolise the presence of God and the start of a new family. They're also given candles to hold during the service, and these symbolise the willingness of the couple to receive Jesus as the light of the world. In the Orthodox Church, during the service, the couple take 3 sips of wine from a shared cup, which symbolises the sharing of joy and sorrow. It also remembers the story of Jesus turning water into wine in the wedding in Cana. So what actually happens during Holy Matrimony? Well, in the Catholic Church, it's expected that the couple are both baptised Christians, but that's not the case across every denomination of Christianity. Across all services, the service is normally conducted by a vicar or priest who welcomes people and gives a small introduction outlining the purpose of marriage, and this is often linked to the passage from Mark. The couple exchange vows which reflect the main Christian beliefs about marriage. Following this, the couple exchange rings as a sign of commitment and say, "With my body I honour you, all that I am I give you, and all that I have I share with you, within the love of God, Father, Son and Holy Spirit." Bible readings are often said, including 1 Corinthians 13, which is St. Paul's description of love. It says, "Love is patient, love is kind." There might also be hymns with an appropriate theme, for example, "All things bright and beautiful." The legal requirement in Britain is for the newly married couple to sign the register, witnessed by a registrar and witnesses, and that makes the marriage ceremony legal. Currently, same-sex marriages are not permitted in Christian churches, however some clergy perform blessings. However, the Catholic and Orthodox Church have maintained their stance against same-sex marriage. In 2010, Pope Francis said, "A marriage made up of man and woman is not the same as a union of two people of the same sex. To distinguish is not discrimination, but to respect differences." The marriage ceremony in the Orthodox Church is slightly different from the other denominations. The Orthodox Church don't see marriage as a celebration of love, but rather the start of a new relationship. They believe that the grace of God transforms the man and woman into husband and wife, joined together as one through the power of the Holy Spirit, and this is why it's seen as a sacrament. Traditionally, for marriage to be a sacrament, it has to be between two baptised Orthodox Christians. In the Orthodox Church, the service has two main parts. The first is the exchanging of rings, which symbolises the marriage contract. The second is the crowning, where gold crowns are placed on the heads of the husband and wife. Remember, in the Orthodox Church, they don't recite vows. After this, the priest reads additional Bible passages, and the bride and groom take their 3 sips of wine from the shared cup. Now, you could get asked a D question about which part of a marriage ceremony is most important. So we're going to go through a D question, asking whether vows are the most important feature. Many Christians might agree that vows are the most important part of a marriage ceremony because it reflects the promises between the couple. For example, traditional Christians say vows like for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. Therefore, you could argue that these vows reflect the commitment between the couple and remind them of their commitment towards one another, which will in turn make the marriage stronger. In addition, the vows are important because they reflect important Christian beliefs and values about marriage, particularly the eternal nature of marriage. For example, the couple make vows like "till death do us part," and this reflects the teaching from Mark 10, which says, "What God has joined together, let no one separate." As such, vows reflect the view that marriage is a lifelong commitment and reminds them of the importance of relationships that they're entering into. On the other hand, though, some Christians might argue that the rings are the most important feature because they provide the physical reminder of that contract. The round shape remembers the eternal love of God, but also the lifelong nature of marriage. This again links to the teaching from Mark's Gospel. As this is worn daily, you could argue that it serves as a more powerful reminder than the vows that are only said on the day. Traditional Christians might argue that the white dress and the veil are more important. Not only do they reflect the traditional value of chastity, but they also remember the relationship between Christ and the Church. For example, the dress and veil remember the description in Revelations, which says how Christ clothes his bride, the Church, in his own righteousness as a garment of fine linen, bright and clean. As such, when they see the bride, Christians are reminded that through the sacrifice of Jesus, they're blessed and will have union with him in the afterlife. Finally then, many Orthodox Christians might argue that the vows are not important. During an Orthodox service, the couple don't make vows as they believe these commitments have already been made. Instead, they wear a crown as an outward sign of the sacrament, and the priest places it on their head saying, "O Lord, crown them with glory and honour." As such, the crowns become arguably the most important marriage symbol because they represent the presence of God and the start of a new family. Hope you found that useful. Same system as always. If you want to do quickfire questions, go on Quizlet or Kahoot. If you want to practice some exam questions, look on the following slide. Good luck.